Good evening, wrestling fans. We're your hosts, Lewis
and Jaden, and this is Evolution of Pro Wrestling.
Welcome back, fans, to another week of Evolution of Pro Wrestling. Today's topic is going to be off the charts.
Yes.
This is one that a lot of people are going to debate today, and it's just going to be amazing, you know. But before we get into the topic, we just want to point out a few things that are out there. Rhea Ripley, I'm not sure if I'm saying that name right, defeated the NXT Women's Champion. She ended her streak, and the NXT just went crazy.
Yeah.
So we also again saw CM Punk back on backstage. Now, there's many people that are failing to understand CM Punk is not back with WWE.
Not yet.
He's working with Fox.
Yes.
Now, if the price is right, maybe he'll be back.
I think he could be back. If he goes back, then that would be like an absolutely crazy thing that happens.
Thank you, Alex Styles, for sharing. We appreciate it.
If he goes back to WWE, that will be the best move that he has ever done.
Absolutely. And
I think that would be the best move he's ever done.
No, not just that. And thank you, Alex. We appreciate that. Not just that, you know, the ratings they'll bring back if he comes back, especially
absolutely.
That WrestleMania match that people are already talking about.
Seth Rollins versus CM
Punk.
That would be a great match.
That would be a hell of a match.
Oof.
Forget great. It would be a hell of a match. So, Jaden.
Dad.
This topic today is going to be off the hook. Tell our fans what today's topic is going to be.
Today's topic is a topic that is basically two icons, two people that we were literally just talking about. Who's better in which era? CM Punk or Bret Hart? Wait. Bret the Hitman Hart.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there's ever been.
We're going to be talking about the matches they've been through, what did they do to get into that place, the mic skills, all of that. So I am absolutely looking forward to talking about this topic here.
Absolutely. Now, you talk about CM Punk, Jay.
Yes.
CM Punk is, to me, by far one of the best talkers in the game.
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely.
Like, I think he's probably the only one that can come as close as The Rock.
Yeah.
And because The Rock, to me, is by far
the Rock,
the best
guy with the mic skills. Yes, absolutely.
Then you have Bret the Hitman Hart. Another man that's good with the promo, but the man backed up everything in the ring.
Yes.
Greatest technical wrestler I've ever seen in history. So, what are your thoughts on this topic?
This is a great topic. You know, like I said earlier, we're talking about two icons here. We're talking about a guy who held the title for one of the longest days, at least like 365 days.
Well, CM Punk held it over 450
He held
days.
it, yes. He held it for a very long time. CM Punk held the title for a very long time. His mic skills are absolutely insane. His wrestling is absolutely phenomenal. Same with Bret Hart. Bret Hart, once he hits you with that sharpshooter, you already know you're in a world of trouble. So be careful when it comes to both of those wrestlers, especially with both of them at their primes. If you know a guy at their prime is a very dangerous man. So always be careful, especially with those guys, Bret Hart and CM Punk. So like I said earlier, two icons, two of the best, one of the best technical wrestlers.
One is a future Hall of Famer.
Yes.
So it's going to be interesting.
Yes,
to see
absolutely.
where this topic is going to go.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think of? Who do you think was the best one in their era? CM Punk or Bret the Hitman Hart? Many people have a hard choice picking that answer.
So do I.
It's tough. It's tough to compete with something like that when you got the culture of CM Punk, the man that, oh man, like he is amazing. This guy, like, I wish we could see him back in the ring.
We're talking about Bret, the Hitman Hart, and we're talking about the best in the world, CM Punk. Those guys who made up those names go with that character. CM Punk, the best in the world. We all know why he calls himself the best in the world. His mic skills are phenomenal. He knows how to shut up a crowd, how to do any of those things. GTS, go to sleep. Finishing moves are crazy. Submissions are crazy. His moves inside of the ring are absolutely phenomenal. Bret the Hitman Hart, faced a whole bunch of greats. Mr. Perfect, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, people like that. These guys are they're one of the reasons why you could say the company is what it is today.
Okay. So, question. You mentioned Mr. Perfect.
Yes.
You mentioned other guys out there for the Bret Hart are taken. Do you think CM Punk would have been able to take on the guys like Kurt Hennig and Ric Flair?
Ric Flair, no. But I don't really know about Kurt.
Why not?
I don't know Kurt.
Why would he not been able to take care of Ric Flair?
I mean, okay. Ric Flair, I think Ric Flair at his absolute prime.
Okay.
No.
We got a comment here.
Okay.
Brian said Punk was great run, but it took him a minute to come out of his shell.
That is true.
Which is true.
He is
and it
not
said Bret was
lying
great
about
since
that.
the start till the very end. Absolutely.
He is right.
He was absolutely
He's
right.
very right about that.
Unfortunately, he did get he got sidelined with that kick to the head due to Goldberg. But by far, the man was phenomenal. He took on the likes of Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, Goldberg. Now, do you think that the two differences between CM Punk and Kurt Hennig, CM Punk would have been able to beat Kurt Hennig?
I don't really know about Kurt Hennig, so I can't.
Mr. Perfect.
That's Kurt Hennig.
That's Mr. Perfect.
That's his name?
Yes.
Like his real name.
That's his real name.
Oh.
Kurt Hennig is Mr. Perfect.
Kurt Hennig is Mr. Perfect. All right. Okay, now I know. Okay, so repeat that question one more time.
Do you think that CM Punk would have been able to beat Mr. Perfect?
I don't think he would have been able to beat him, or he. I'm not really sure. No. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Think carefully.
Wait. I don't know.
Answer wrong.
Oh Jesus. I don't know if he would have been able to beat him or not, depending on what period of time Mr. Perfect was in. Like Mr. Perfect, he was the most perfect man inside of the wrestling business, as what they say. So imagine him in his prime. I don't think CM Punk would have been able to beat him, but CM Punk could have at least gave him a good fight.
I beg to differ.
No, you're crazy.
See, listen, Mr. Perfect was perfect. That's why they called him absolutely perfect.
Exactly.
But I think, to me, CM Punk had more wrestling skills in the ring.
Nah.
If you guys disagree, you can comment.
I mean,
but I think CM Punk would have been able to beat
Perfect was
Mr.
Mr. Perfect was more of a technical wrestler. He wasn't like one of those type of wrestlers that CM Punk is. Like CM Punk's like, I wouldn't really call him a high flyer, but I wouldn't really call him like such a technical wrestler either. See, Mr. Perfect was one of the true meanings of technical wrestling. Okay. So there's a difference between those guys.
No, but that's what I'm saying. If you see the difference, but both CM Punk can still be technical.
Okay, but the experience doesn't matter. It matters about.
Of course it matters.
No,
How it doesn't matter?
No, it doesn't. Experience doesn't matter. Look at every single time in the WWE where someone got lucky and accidentally or purposely beat someone, and then it constantly kept happening. It's not all about luck sometimes.
No, listen, experience definitely matters. That's why Bret Hart is the two-time Hall of Famer, not just one, two. When you got the experience,
I mean,
you're gonna do better.
Two-time Hall of Famer, yes, I understand that, but still, like I said, I still think that CM Punk will not be able to beat Mr. Perfect.
I beg to differ. What do you guys think?
I think CM Punk is a great wrestler. Don't get me wrong. I love CM Punk. I love his work. I love everything CM Punk does. But I still think that he cannot beat Mr. Perfect. Don't get me wrong. He will have Mr. Perfect bleeding or something. He will give Mr. Perfect a great fight. I just don't think that he will be able to beat Mr. Perfect. Like he could beat any of these other wrestlers, such as, John Cena, Miz, Big Show, Rey Mysterio, all these people. Cena. I literally just said that. I said that. I said he's beating all these people.
Okay, do you think he would have been able to beat Hulk Hogan?
CM Punk?
Yes.
No.
That I gotta agree with.
No.
Because I'm a Hulk Hogan fan.
Of course, but I'm not a Hulk Hogan
Do you
fan.
think
but
Bret Hart would have been able to beat the likes of John Cena or Batista or
I think these guys I think
Christian,
John
Edge?
John Cena now he sucks. John Cena now sucks.
No, but John Cena's pretty much semi-retired.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm talking about in their prime.
Like I'll tell you, like the Doctor of Thugonomics, John Cena probably could have beat him. Batista, the animal. Batista was brawling. Batista was like a human Hercules back then. So yes, I think Batista could have beaten him.
See, even Brian says it. Sorry, Jay. I think Punk will get the upper hand on Mr. Perfect. He's more technically sound. The man. Listen to the man. Listen to the man.
I still don't agree.
He's more,
I'm going with my opinion.
Listen, and I respect your opinion, but your opinion is wrong.
I don't care. I don't care what's wrong or what's right. It's my opinion, and I'm gonna stick with it.
All right. So, if you had the opportunity to name a match right now between CM Punk and someone in the era of Bret Hart, who would it be?
That's a good question. I would love to see CM Punk. CM Punk. Was Jimmy Superfly Snuka in his era?
In which era?
In
Bret Hart's era?
Bret
Yes,
Hart's era.
absolutely.
I would love to see those two go against each other.
Okay. Two different styles. Totally different styles, but I would like to see that too.
I
but
would.
I think CM Punk will beat him too.
I don't know.
think so. Because of the speed.
Speed? True.
Speed.
True.
Jimmy Snuka was a 250-pound. Okay, wait a minute.
Savage versus.
Oh, absolutely.
Savage
The two-
versus Punk. Oh,
CM
yeah.
Punk did that elbow when the Macho Man passed away. He did a tribute to Macho Man, wore the tights of the Macho Man, did an elbow of the Macho Man, which was great. And I still remember that day. That's an excellent match. And I honestly got to give that one to Macho Man.
Yeah, I agree. Macho Man is like one of the most best technical wrestlers in the absolute wrestling history. Like, Macho Man was like Macho Man was powerful. We're just gonna put it like that. If you haven't seen any of Macho Man's matches, please go check those out. Because if you haven't seen one of Macho Man's matches, you're crazy. Macho Man is one of these super mega powerhouses that everyone loves to talk about. But back to CM Punk. I gotta agree with you. I think that CM Punk could beat. No, sorry. Reword that. I think Macho Man. Jesus.
Beat CM Punk.
I
Come on,
think.
you don't know how to talk.
Leave me alone.
Focus.
I'm recovering from a sickness.
I'm there too. Stop it.
Exactly. You understand? Yeah, Dad. We know you're the only chump here. Stop talking about
Let's
yourself.
Go. Move it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right. Next, moving on.
Who would you want had seen Bret Hart face in this generation in his prime?
And this generation at his prime. Let's see here.
If he did, and who would it be? And do you think he would win?
I think I would like to see him go against Roman Reigns. Actually,
Two different styles.
Exactly the point.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see it.
I wouldn't want to see guys with two of the same styles.
No.
I wouldn't want to see.
That's what makes the match even better. Two technical superstars fighting up against each other.
Okay, so name a technical superstar in this era.
I would have to say Seth Rollins. Actually, no, I'm lying. I would love to see a match between Bret Hart in his prime and AJ Styles.
Oh yes, absolutely.
AJ Styles and Bret Hart.
Yes.
And that would be
an amazing match.
If Bret Hart was in his prime,
if Bret Hart was in his prime, yes.
Styles, and I think he would have beat him if he would have fought AJ Styles.
That would have been a good match right there.
See, when you talk about Bret Hart, you see Bret Hart, he's taking on Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect. He's taking on Ric Flair. He's taking on Hogan.
He's taking on all of the greats. He's taking on most of the greats.
He was part of the Hart Foundation.
Yeah, the Hart. Of course.
Brian calls for AJ Styles to win against Bret Hart.
I agree with him.
I don't know. It's kind of neutral, Brian.
I agree with Brian.
I don't know. That's kind of up in the air right now.
I agree with him.
So to see that going, it's like
AJ Styles is like one of the hottest wrestlers right now. You know, Bret Hart was in. I keep saying this and I know it, but we all know that Bret Hart was better than a lot of these wrestlers that you see now. There's no one who can recreate the famous Bret Hart sharpshooter. There's no one who does it like him. People do the sharpshooter nowadays, but there's no one who can do it exactly like Bret Hart.
They say the closest that came to him was Sting.
Sting, yes.
And he fought Sting.
Sting does look like the closest person to do that sharpshooter.
He fought Sting in
Sting's sharpshooter looks very scary and very petrifying. So yes, absolutely. I think Sting is probably one of the closest people to actually do that sharpshooter the right way, just like the way Bret Hart does it.
No, but that's what I'm saying, that when Bret Hart gets that sharpshooter, he pretty much...
He puts all his body weight. He puts all his body weight on your back.
Now, do you think, which a match we never saw, which I wanted to see, Bret Hart and The Rock.
Oh, man.
Never happened. I wanted to see it. Why do you think it didn't happen?
I don't know. I think they were like both hot. I'm pretty sure they were like both hot at the time. You know, they were both famous wrestlers at the time, if you want to put it that way. So I think it was like a lose or win situation, or a win-win situation with those guys, because one of them didn't want to lose and then get the backlash from the fans about it. Oh, this guy's, you know, on the lower side now. He lost to one of the greats. They probably didn't want to worry about that. Or, I don't know. I just don't know. Or, I don't know. Well, that's probably, I think that's the reason why.
I think that, in my opinion...
Or I think one of them just didn't want to fight each other at all.
No, they didn't want to lose.
Exactly. Right. None of them wanted to lose.
And I would have to say that I think that would be Bret Hart, that probably didn't want to lose.
Yeah, probably didn't want to lose.
Bret Hart was the
stuff.
I'm the reigning star here. I'm the only star. And I think that's what kind of took a toll on him when he... Are you yawning? Am I making you bored?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Smart ass. Anyway, I think that there were superstars coming up in the rankings. Mm-hmm. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes.
The Undertaker. Sid Justice. Many people were moving up in the ranks. And I think that's what pissed off Bret the Hitman Hart even more.
Yeah.
Just like CM Punk. CM Punk was champion for over 400 and some odd days. He got eliminated out of the Royal Rumble, which many people thought he should have won the Royal Rumble.
I mean, but look at what happened after he lost the Royal Rumble. The man became a total star. Like, okay, no, after he lost in the Royal Rumble to The Rock was when everything went downhill.
Yeah.
But before that, he was an absolute star. You know, Paul Heyman by his side, the best in the world, the mic skills, all of it. He knew how to piss the crowd off. Like, that's the right word for it. He knew how to piss the crowd off. I'm talking about the crowd would boo him so bad. You know, fold his legs, start talking on the mic about the wrestlers. He has gone against some great wrestlers, you know, John Cena back at his prime, Randy Orton, you know, people like that. If I'm not mistaken, Triple H, people like that, Undertaker,
he's
all those great guys.
He's owned John Cena.
Yes, he has.
I think John Cena only beat him once.
John Cena beat him one time.
Fighting, and John Cena only beat him one time.
John Cena beat him one time. John Cena never stood a chance against CM Punk.
No,
CM Punk would always be the one beating up John Cena. John Cena would give him some good ambushes, you know, with the attitude adjustments, you know, beating him down, but he never actually won a true match. He only won once. Like you said, he only won a real good match against CM Punk.
Okay, so do you think that CM Punk would have been able to deal with the era of Bret Hart?
That's kind of hard to do.
No, be bluntly honest.
I think wrestlers like such as, you know, Macho, Hogan, people like that, you know, Ricky Steamboat, people like that, Ricky Steamboat, Jake the Snake Roberts. I think he couldn't, Sergeant Slaughter, I think he couldn't handle people like that. But I think he could handle people, you know, like Jimmy, Superfly Snuka, you know, people like that. I don't think he could have handled Roddy Piper either, because Roddy Piper was like one of the greats. Roddy Piper was a legend. So I think he can handle people like, you know, Jimmy, Superfly Snuka, Dude Love, I think that's his name. Mick Foley, okay. Yes, Mick Foley. People like that. But, so I think he can handle some people, but I think he can't handle some people. So I'm wishy-washy with that.
So do you think Bret Hart would have been able to deal with the era CM Punk was in.
Just like what the era was CM Punk is in. It's like the same thing with Bret Hart. Bret Hart, now, are you talking about at his prime?
At his prime.
I feel like he could have handled the likes of John Cena, actually. He could have handled the likes of John Cena. Because John Cena was like a gullible person. John Cena was easy to manipulate back then. Like the situation with the Nexus. They got him to join the Nexus, and all they did was use the man. Mm-hmm. So imagine Bret Hart putting mind games into John Cena. It's gonna make John Cena weak, and then he's gonna beat John Cena. And then it's just like the mind games that with CM Punk. All the mic skills that he had, all the skills that CM Punk had on the mic, got into John Cena's head and pissed him off, and then it made him weak. That's why CM Punk was always beating John Cena. He could probably beat the likes of Randy Orton, Chris Jericho. Let's see here. If he gets lucky, he could probably beat Batista. People like that. I feel like he can beat some people in this era, but I feel like he can't beat some people in this era.
I gotta disagree with that.
What do you disagree with?
I gotta disagree with that.
With what?
There's many people in that roster back then when Bret Hart was in wrestling. I wish guys like Edge could have came out.
Edge, yes, that's one person I forgot.
Cena, I think John Cena would have lost to Bret Hart.
I agree.
I also think that he beat The Undertaker at a point, but the way The Undertaker was coming up in the rankings, I think Bret Hart had no chance with him.
Yeah, no.
Then, you got Batista. Batista's a freaking
animal. That man is strong.
He's an animal, but he's slow as hell.
He is very slow. He's strong. Don't get me wrong.
I don't think he would have beat Bret the Hitman Hart.
I don't think he could have. Yeah, I don't think he could have.
I would have liked to see CM Punk go up against Batista.
Yes.
Those two I definitely would want to have come to see, because we've seen CM Punk go up against the likes of Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and he's come up with some great matches. But it's now that people want to see the Seth Rollins and CM Punk match.
I would love to see that.
Because they're both in their damn prime. CM Punk, get your ass up, take the money, and go to WrestleMania.
Especially since Seth Rollins is a heel now. That man is a great heel. I don't care what nobody says.
Of course he's a great heel.
Seth Rollins' new heel character. I love it. I love the attitude. I love everything about that new Seth Rollins. It is absolutely amazing.
And that's what I'm saying. That would have been perfect for him and
CM Punk.
To go at it with each other.
To go at it, to get a match in. A good match. Those views would go up. Was sky high like the 4th of July. Those things would go so high. I'm telling you. The views, there would be no more competition. Absolutely with anyone, not. With no AEW, no nothing, no anything, no NXT, no nothing. There would be no more competition if that match was to happen.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying, Jaden. That people fail to understand that when it comes to the era of the Attitude Era, and then you have this type of era.
Exactly.
It's two totally different ones. Back then, you were able to hit with a chair.
Right.
You were able to curse. You were able to bleed.
Now you can't do all that.
You can't do nothing because it's PG.
It's PG. There you got to worry about kids.
This is what I'm saying. That we got to worry about the kids. It's a kids-friendly show, okay. But
but look,
excitement out there. As of late, WWE has been pushing the envelope. They've been getting some stuff. Okay, The Fiend. I would love to have seen CM Punk fight The Fiend.
Especially if CM Punk treated The Fiend the way Seth Rollins did. Let's look at the time in Hell in a Cell where he threw ladders and chairs on his face, hit him in the face with a sledgehammer, and the man got right back up. Imagine CM Punk and The Fiend in one of those type of matches. See, this is what I'm saying. They need to let go of the PG era a little bit. Just a little bit. You don't gotta add in all the blood, all the cursing, all the flipping the birds and stuff like that. Or you could add in the blood and the hitting in the head with the chairs, stuff like that. Just add a little more intensity, and then I will actually love to watch wrestling again. Because I like wrestling now. I still love wrestling to this day since I was 5 years old. I still love it. But I feel like it would be better if they had a little bit more Attitude Era inside of the PG era. Get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, that with the PG era now, that's what CM Punk had mentioned, because there was a show that there was the greatest oh my God moments.
Yeah.
The 50th greatest, I think it was 50 or 100
100 oh my God moments.
And there was a moment that Jake the Snake Roberts took a snake, and put it on Randy Savage, and it bit him.
It bit him, yes.
And CM Punk had mentioned, I wish there was more stuff like this in wrestling.
Yeah, I
today.
agree. I agree with
but
him.
But unfortunately now, due to all these
All the
politics
PGs
and PG-13 or PG whatever, and people getting upset and offended now these days about everything that happens in the world. We can't do anything.
You can't worry. You can't worry. Mr. McMahon is old, so he worries about those stuff. Triple H.
Well, he's a businessman.
Okay, but Triple H is the owner of NXT, and I bet Triple H gets twice or a little bit as much backlash as Mr. McMahon does.
What do you think? No, but this is what I'm saying.
But I think Triple H just completely ignores it. He does his thing.
No, but this is what I'm saying. Look at what happened with the invasion of the Survivor
Exactly
Series.
My point.
Triple H was involved in that.
Exactly.
And that's what made the ratings go up even
more.
So
Triple H is doing his own thing right now. Triple H is doing good right now.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Triple H is doing his own. Like I said, he doesn't really take the backlash and, like he doesn't make a problem about it and then changes up the whole thing. No. He keeps the way it is, and he doesn't give a crap what people say. He's gonna do what he pleases to do, whether people like it or not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That Triple H is gonna have to take over eventually.
Eventually, yes.
Around. Vince McMahon, he's old, yes. He's still got a sharp mind.
He still has, yes.
He is
worried about the PG. He's worried about the PG.
Now, back to the topic at hand: CM Punk and Bret the Hitman Hart. Who would you think win?
Bret, oh man.
Both of them in their primes.
Oh my goodness.
And then just to add to it, the WWE Championship.
So are we talking about best in the world CM Punk? Or are we talking about long-haired CM Punk?
No, best in the world CM Punk.
Okay. Oof. I'm sorry. I gotta stay neutral. I can't answer that. These guys are both technical wrestlers in the ring. These guys sort of have the same wrestling style, One of them, they have different finishers, but they have the same mindset when it comes to the ring. They both have good mic skills in the ring, so they probably would know how to piss each other off, which would make a rivalry or a event happen even better. So I don't know. I gotta stay neutral.
Brian said it would have to be a submission match. That would be a hell of a match.
I think I would give that.
No pinfalls. Yep, there you go.
I would give that not to CM Punk. I would give that to Bret Hart.
Oh, Brian agrees with you.
I would give that to Bret Hart.
I gotta disagree. CM Punk.
Yeah,
CM Punk will get him with that. I forgot what that block is.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian, I'm sorry. I gotta go with CM Punk.
Yeah, Buttercup, get out of Wonderland. Okay, come on, come back in the earth, Dad. It's just time to wake up.
Excuse me.
I'll go pour some water on your face so you can wake up.
Excuse me.
You're excused.
You got the likes of CM Punk that has beaten superstars such as Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. Yeah. No, I'm lying. Not Roman Reigns.
As I'm about to say,
Dean Ambrose, John Moxley. He's beaten Chris Jericho, John Cena. The man has beaten many people. Ryback. Whoever they put him in the ring. Am I surprised, old man? No, of course not. I'm definitely not the go with Bret Hart. You know what I mean? It's BretArt is the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. The man has beaten the likes of Hulk Hogan,
all
Sting,
them guys,
Goldberg, Mr. Perfect. And I think CM Punk would have been able to handle those superstars back then.
No, I don't think he would have been able to handle that.
Yes, he would have.
No, he wouldn't.
Yes, he would have.
No, he wouldn't.
Tell me why not.
Okay. See, you think he would have been able to handle Hulk Hogan?
Absolutely.
You think he would have been able to handle Macho Man?
Yes.
Jake the Snake?
Yes.
What's his name called? It'll come back to my mind. But you think he could have handled those guys?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because the man...
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That's who I forgot to mention. That's who I was talking about.
Okay. I'll give you that, Brian. Punk used the Anaconda Vice, but Bret was a born grappler and a submission expert.
Exactly.
Absolutely. You're right.
Exactly.
And why? Why? Because Stu Hart taught him how to wrestle. Which, okay, I can understand that. I feel you, Brian. But I think CM Punk is the better athlete in the ring. in my opinion, anyway.
I think he's like the more speedy and technical wrestler. I think he's the better speedster, and he's fast when it comes to technical wrestling. I think Bret Hart is more of the better technical wrestler in the ring. But they're both technical wrestlers, good technical wrestlers. But they're both technical in different ways. They're just both technical wrestlers. That's what makes them the same.
No, see, Moses was the one that said he put down that he's an expert in submission. You're absolutely right, Moses. He is. But I think if Bret Hart would have stood wrestling, I think CM Punk could have beat him.
If he still could have kept wrestling, if he wasn't at his prime anymore, everybody knew who Bret Hart was.
See, even Brian agrees. With Moses Marquez. Punk only had one submission with a few moves in his arsenal, but like Moses Marquez said, Bret was born a grappler.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
As I said, Stu Hart taught him in the dungeon. He taught them all, and Stu Hart taught many. He taught Chris Benoit, which is another thing. Do you think that CM Punk would have been able to take on the likes of Chris Benoit?
No.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Why?
No. Chris Benoit is a legend. Like, Chris Benoit is an amazing wrestler. He took on the likes of, people like Eddie Guerrero, people like that. He took on legends. He took on crazy, crazy people. Put his body on the line, jumping off a ladder, stuff like that. Technical wrestler, one of the guys who stood in the Royal Rumble for at least one of the longest times and before. Hasn't broken a record, but he has been in the Royal Rumble for one of the longest times that I can count. Started off second or first in one of the Royal Rumbles.
He was number one.
Yeah, number one. And then he lasted a very long time. So Chris Benoit is one of the most... He's good at submissions, too. Don't get me wrong. Chris Benoit is very great at submissions. I think CM Punk could duel with him.
He can go to distance.
Yes. He could duel with Chris Benoit. I just don't think he can beat him.
Would have been able to beat Roman Reigns.
Oh, man.
Bret Hart in his prime and Roman Reigns now. Because Roman Reigns is completely in his prime right now.
I don't think so. I think Roman Reigns would have beaten Bret Hart.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Because if you think about it, Bret Hart's not really a pinfall and finisher move guy. He's more of a submission guy. And Roman Reigns has basically like three finishers. The drive-by, the Superman punch, and the spear. He can hit any of those on you anytime, like that. Literally, he doesn't have to, kick you, drop you down. All he has to do is jump up in your face and boom, in your face, spear you, grab your waist, do anything. Bret Hart has to get you down on the floor. And imagine if your opponent, you're not wearing off your opponent, none of that. It's not going to be easy to put your opponent on the ground and do a submission lock and fold their legs or hold their legs and do a submission lock.
I'm sorry, not to cut you off. Kenny Lloyd, we're not talking about any murderers here. I'm sorry, with all due respect. We're talking about who was the better wrestler, CM Punk or Bret the Hitman Hart. We talk about Chris Benoit, with all due respect. We don't respect what he did. But we're talking about his talent in the ring. We're not talking about anything personal. If you want to talk about that, you can go somewhere else with that, sir. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Crippler crossface better than the Anaconda Vice. Okay, Moses Marquez said it right there. So you're absolutely right, Jaden. Chris Benoit was better than CM Punk.
Yes.
Listen, CM Punk is an excellent superstar. But I don't think he would have been, in my opinion, I don't think he would have been able to deal with the era of the Attitude Era. Look at what Brian said. Bret Hart can counter all those moves that Roman does. Absolutely right.
He can, but I still think Roman...
Roman is fully powered. The man got skills.
Don't forget, Roman Reigns could counter at any time. We can't forget all those times. With that Superman punch, he counters all the time. He doesn't always get it on the first try, but he will counter that punch. He will hit you with that punch at least one time in the match. Guaranteed, he will hit you at least one time in the match.
No, absolutely. He definitely gonna get you.
Yes.
That's not a problem.
No.
Now, but my question is, do you think CM Punk would have been able to take on Eddie Guerrero?
Oh, no.
Why not?
Well, you said take on, right? I think he could take him on, but not beat him.
Why not?
Because Eddie Guerrero, just like Chris Benoit, is a legend. You know, those two faced against each other, Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero. You know, Mr. Lie, Cheat, Steal, you know. Eddie Guerrero would do anything to win. That's how he got those nicknames. Lie, Cheat, Steal. He would do anything just to win a match.
Okay.
So, imagine him doing that to CM Punk. Eddie Guerrero is also such a good technical wrestler. He's like a finisher guy, you know. He could go on the top
Kevin,
ropes.
thanks for joining us, brother.
Go on the top ropes, do whatever he does, do his business, and then finish you right there.
Even Brian said it. Eddie would have taken Punk, lie, cheat, steal, baby.
Exactly,
No,
exactly.
absolutely.
Right.
Now, do you think, Brian, that Bret Hart would have been able to beat Eddie Guerrero?
No, prime.
And both of them in their prime.
I gotta stay mutual.
No.
Yes.
I don't stay neutral.
I gotta stay mutual.
I definitely don't stay
I gotta
neutral.
stay mutual.
I gotta give that to Eddie Guerrero. Bret Hart, I love the man.
Whoa.
Wrestling time,
You know what?
I gotta give it to Eddie Guerrero, though.
I don't think Bret Hart was really as fast as Eddie Guerrero in the ring, but Bret Hart was good at...
Brian's thinking about it.
That's what I'm saying, Bret. That's what I'm saying.
It's kind of skeptical. Okay, listen.
It's skeptical,
it's a skeptical match. It's a crazy match.
See, but think about it. Bret Hart wasn't a fast guy in the ring. He's not as fast as all these wrestlers you see now. And that's an advantage that Eddie Guerrero had. But back then, you know, the guy was good at countering. He was good at countering all these moves. Mm-hmm. That's an advantage for Bret Hart. So those are two guys it is really hard to compare. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, those guys trying to compare, it is a very hard thing to do with two guys like that, two icons like that, one of the greatest wrestlers like that. So it is very hard. Like,
absolutely.
Like, you can't really...
I'm sorry, Jaden, not to cut you off, you could continue with this.
Okay.
We have a comment, Mr. Louis Cedeno showing love from Orlando, Florida, tuning in for the first time.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Thank you for tuning in. We're glad you're enjoying the show. If you are enjoying the show, please continue to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Please keep enjoying watching the show. We have amazing topics here. So Moses Marquez says
Eddie beats Punk without lying, cheating, and
stealing.
Yes,
he's a better wrestler.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then Brian says, I think Bret would have outsmarted Eddie, but I think Eddie could have pulled off a close one.
See, I told you. Yeah,
the match going into a draw.
I told you. It's a mutual. It's a mutual with those guys.
That's an honest opinion, and I agree with it because
I agree.
Are
I agree
legends.
with it. They're exactly.
Eddie Guerrero was a phenomenal athlete in the ring. The man had the technical superstar. Like the way
there's no one who can be another Eddie Guerrero. Absolutely not. Like, no way.
Well,
there's no one who could be another Eddie Guerrero.
It's a match that Chris Brown had mentioned that he would dream to see. Eddie Guerrero against Andrade.
Oh, yes.
That would have been an excellent match.
Andrade is a big guy. You know, two Spanish guys going against each other. Spanish heritage going against each other.
We're going to end this soon, fans. We're going to ask you 2 questions we want you to comment on. If you wanted to see a dream match right now, choose an opponent for CM Punk and Bret the Hitman Hart.
One of my matches are said on this live. I would love to see Eddie Guerrero and Bret Hart.
Okay.
But CM Punk... I would love to actually see him go against Macho Man.
Okay.
CM Punk against Macho Man.
Well, Brian mentioned that.
Yeah.
Brian mentioned that.
So actually 2 of my matches are here. I would love to see those guys duel with each other.
And what about Bret Hart?
Bret Hart, like I said, Eddie Guerrero. I'd like to see him go against Eddie Guerrero. You know, my 2 picks were said on the live video, but I think those guys could go against each other. I would love to see those guys. I would actually pay
Punk
a ticket.
versus Rollins. That's Christopher Brown said.
That would be a good one.
And Brian also said CM Punk and Savage. That's his pick. So here's another question. Who do you think would win in their prime? CM Punk or Bret Hart?
I still can't answer that question.
Now, while you guys are thinking about that question...
Well, you know what? I'm going to think about my answer.
Well, Brian also mentioned Bret Hart against AJ Styles.
That would be a good match.
I mentioned that
earlier. I'll think about mine.
I would have to say... Well, Bret Hart versus Marty Jones. Bret Hart versus Daniel Bryan. That's a hell of a match. Daniel Bryan and Bret Hart in their prime.
Excuse me.
That was a superb match. Now, my dream match would have been Bret the Hitman Hart. Against the Great Muta.
Oh. It's not a bad match.
And I would like to see CM Punk go up against Ricochet.
Oh, yes. That would be an amazing match right
Aleister
there.
Black. Oh,
Man.
Aleister Black.
Aleister Black.
CM Punk and Aleister Black.
That's a crazy match.
That would have been an amazing match.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I would have had love to see it.
Absolutely.
So, but guys, comment on there. Who do you think would have won the match? CM Punk or Bret the Hitman Hart? Both of them in their prime.
Now, Dad, how about you answer that question?
I would have to say Bret Hart.
Okay, now.
And I say that, and I'm going to explain myself why.
Okay.
Bret Hart is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the best technical wrestlers that ever lived.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think he would have out-wrestled CM Punk.
Okay, so CM Punk, I think Bret Hart would have beaten CM Punk technical-wise because, you know, just like you said earlier, Bret Hart is probably one of the best technical wrestlers inside of the WWE industry, but CM Punk would have had the advantage of, you know, tricking his mind and stuff like that.
Well, Christopher Brown said he would have, CM Punk would win with the GTS.
I
gotta disagree with that.
I don't have a pick. I don't. See, I feel like it would have been like a draw type thing because, you know, he has the move with the GTS to go to sleep, and Bret Hart has a sharpshooter. Those are both one of the most death-defying. I wouldn't really call it death-defying, but one of the most scariest. Submission. It's a lethal submission. It's a scary submission that can break your back or can break your skull in a heartbeat. Not literally, but you know what I mean. It can literally hurt you in a heartbeat. So I think those guys would have drawn it out. I don't think no one would have won that match. Like if I had that pick, I don't think anyone would have won the match. No. So I don't know.
It's kind of hard.
It's hard. Yes.
It's kind of hard to call. Like it's. I don't know. Like you gotta be seeing stuff like that. And
yes.
My pick still is.
I don't have a pick.
Christopher Brown says in a Punk Bret feud, you have to remember Punk is one of the best shit talkers in the business. If Punk gets under Bret's skin with that ill distraction, it'll distract him, and it'll lead to Punk giving him the GTS for the pin.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Told you, the mind games.
Oh my God, this is amazing, Jaden. We actually got somebody from the Pacific Islands watching our show live. Thank you for joining us, sir. Good morning from the Pacific Islands. We appreciate you watching our show, sir. We got amazing topics. We're glad you tuned in. Jaden, do you want to go another 5 minutes? Because I think the fans are starting to enjoy this.
Okay.
We got 5 more minutes, fans. We're gonna make it worth your while.
So, I want to.
Brian mentioned Kenny Omega against CM Punk. What do you think of that match?
That would be a good match. Kenny Omega versus CM Punk. You know, Kenny Omega is a very amazing wrestler. All these guys are amazing wrestlers. What am I talking about? Kenny Omega was, if I'm not mistaken, he was a technical wrestler, right?
Yes.
Kenny Omega, yes. A good technical, yes. A good technical wrestler. Now, okay, a person I would love to see CM Punk go against is The Fiend. I would love to see CM Punk. No, you know what? Scratch that. Bret Hart against The Fiend. I would like to see that. I would like to see that.
I don't think
but you know why? You know why?
I don't think so.
But you know why? Because Bret Hart, excuse me, Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is that's a nice one. CM Punk should feud with Daniel Bryan or The Miz.
Absolutely.
Yes.
See, this man knows what he's talking about.
Absolutely.
See, this is what I'm saying. This is the different era that CM Punk and Bret Hart. There's two totally different eras. Bret Hart was in the Attitude Era. CM Punk was in this era now. You know, the Millennium Era. But I think CM Punk would have been able to keep up with that. But still, I think Bret Hart would have been able to win.
Okay, now I can't finish. Okay. So.
Wait, I'm sorry. Off topic, Christopher Brown says his dream match is Bam Bam Bigelow versus The Fiend. That's an excellent pick. I
Good,
like that.
yes. Speaking of the Fiend, I would like to see him and Bray go against each other because Bray, I know I keep saying this, but he's a very technical wrestler. You know, he's good at countering submissions. Bray Wyatt is also a technical wrestler too. He reminds me of, you know,
Somewhat.
He's somewhat a technical wrestler, but you know, he does what he has to do. So like, you know, he'll throw you down, something like that.
See, he says The Fiend feuding with CM Punk is early.
That's what I'm saying. Not yet. I'm not ready for that yet.
Absolutely not.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not ready for that yet.
No. So
I said, scratch that. I wasn't ready for that yet.
Now, I'm going to give you a question, Jaden, and I'm going to answer that question right after you.
Okay.
Pick 3 opponents for each person
Okay.
that you would have want to fight it.
Does it matter from what era?
Any era.
Okay. CM Punk. Macho Man. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Shawn Michaels. I love to see them. Shawn Michaels
against
CM Punk. I would love to see those. I would love.
Match.
That's my dream match.
We forgot about Shawn Michaels.
That's my dream match.
That would have been a major match right
now. For Bret Hart, Edge. Let me think about this. Edge. Let's see here. I don't know why, but I gotta say Randy Orton. I don't know why, but I feel in my gut Randy Orton could probably keep up with him. But Edge, Randy Orton, and I'll have to say Roman Reigns. Actually, I have to say Roman Reigns.
Okay. Now, while we're answering these questions, guys, the question out there is: give us 3 opponents for each men of CM Punk and Bret Hart. Which 3 matches you would want to see as a dream match against these combatants? I'm going to answer that question now.
Okay.
For Bret Hart, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins. And AJ Styles.
That's a good, those are good guys. Those are good picks.
Now, CM Punk.
Yeah.
The Rock. Well, actually, no, I'm lying. He fought The Rock already. I would have to say Mr. Perfect. I agree with you with Shawn Michaels. And Eddie Guerrero.
Yes. Him and Eddie, yeah.
Those are my dream
Those are
right
guys, there. Yes. Absolutely.
So fans, we are waiting for you to comment. Who do you think would have won the match between these two if they were both in their prime? CM Punk or Bret the Hitman Hart? We got a few minutes before you can comment before we end the show.
Okay, I kind of want to get a little off topic here and talk about previously what's been happening in the WWE industry. And so far, right now, Seth Rollins and The Fiend are my favorite wrestlers. And oh yeah, did you see Hell in a Cell?
Yes.
I mean, not Hell in a Cell. Sorry, TLC.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, they didn't do right with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, they should have kept the Fiend.
They should have kept the Fiend. They made him as that regular Bray Wyatt.
We got a comment here.
All right.
Christopher Brown. CM Punk against Ricochet. Excellent match.
Yeah.
Punk against Rollins.
Yes.
And Punk against Aleister Black.
Yes.
Perfect picks.
Yes.
Now, who would you pick for Bret Hart?
Yeah. But to what I was saying, I just hope they don't.
Look at that.
What's that character?
This gentleman from the Pacific Islands said this era, CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan, and Edge against Nakamura. Which is, that's a little off topic, but that's a hell of a match I would
Edge
have
versus
wanted to see.
Nakamura,
Nakamura.
though. That's a good match.
So
I mean, hey, it's a few minutes of the show, so speak your mind about dream matches.
This topic is always going to be ongoing.
Yes.
No one can say who can beat who, CM Punk.
Yeah, no. That'll always be a discussion. That will always be up for debate.
You know, CM Punk, what he's
that would never truly be answered.
But so as Bret Hart has accomplished many things in this business.
That has never truly been answered
it's
before.
hard to say.
Yes, it is very hard to say.
So, fans, we're gonna end this show tonight. We appreciate you always watching, as always, supporting us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I'm actually going to go off script here, and I'm going to announce next week's topic. Next week's topic, the best of 2019.
So we're kicking off the new year
We're gonna kick
right.
off the new year right. We're gonna leave the new year back. We're gonna talk about all of 2019 as what has happened with pay-per-views, debuts, the best matches, anything you want to talk about of 2019 next week. We're gonna do it. And Christopher Brown had one more comment for Bret Hart. He will pick Bret against Daniel. I don't know how I can forget about Nakamura. Bret against Nakamura and Bret against Kevin Owens. Those are excellent matches.
Yes.
I would pay to see those matches.
I forgot about Kevin Owens too.
So, if you have any concerns or comments, please email us
me.
at evolutionofprowrestling@gmail.com. As I said, next week's show will be the last show of 2019. So that's going to be our topic. The best of 2019 professional wrestling.
Also, remember to tune in. Tune in at 8 o'clock every Friday. Every Friday night, 8 o'clock sharp.
All right, fans. For myself, Lewis, my co-host, Jaden, and as always, my lovely wife, producer, and director, Yesenia, that always makes this happen with our topics.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us. This gentleman from the Pacific Islands, we appreciate you coming on. Yes. Bret Hart versus Triple H and Shane. That's also a hell of a match. Thank you for watching. Tune in next week for our 2019 final episode.
Yes.
From all of us here, have a good night.